What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Rams Brothers. I'm your host, Dean, and I'm joined, as always, by my brother and the other great host of this show, Nick. And it's Niners week on a short week, Thursday Night Football. The 49ers are coming into SoFi Stadium. And I think we're all really excited to see kind of where the Rams are netting out week 5 on a short week against the Niners. Sean McVay 8-2 on Thursday night, and the Rams swept the Niners last season. So I think we're ready to go. I think it's going to be Rams-Niners. It's the rivalry that it always was, and it's going to be a great game. But, Nick, before we jump into the preview, first and most importantly, how are you?
I'm good. When I hear Sean McVay Thursday night, the first game that comes to my mind, I think you're going to think the same thing, is the Jared Goff Rams versus the Kirk Cousins Vikings on that Thursday night game, where it was one of the most fun times I've ever had watching a Rams game, where it just felt like everything was falling into place for that team. And it was that year. It's just exciting. 8-2 on Thursday is a crazy record. On a short week, you should have a disadvantage. And McVay, he knows what to do with these guys.
It speaks to the level of preparation that these guys put into each week, right? Like to be the better coach in these kind of situations, you have to be able to prepare your guys on a very, very short week in emergency situations, short, efficient meetings. Sean McVay is the king of that, right? And the veteran presence that they have within that locker room allows for them to navigate through this stuff pretty easily. And you saw it like in Matthew Stafford's documentary when him, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, and some of the other guys were navigating through a short week. The video sessions, the meetings, they were all really, really short to the point. They diagnosed things. They got there early and they got it done. So I think they're going to be really well prepared. And I think Vegas thinks the same thing. They're 6.5-point favorites.
Yeah. I mean, that is too much for me. A divisional rival. And, I know we swept them last year, but 6.5. I mean, at the same time, we beat the Colts by 7, who look like the far superior team over the 49ers. And, I guess that's the main thought process. But once again, 84% of the money on the Los Angeles Rams, and that does scare the crap out of me. I feel like the Sharps will probably put some money on the Niners at plus 6.5 later in the week. And, maybe it'll be a closer game than the books think.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at this Niners team, right? And you're looking at the scoring defense, the total defense, passing defense, rushing defense. Like, where do they all net out? Are they still as efficient, even with Nick Bosa off of the field? Fred Warner still manning the middle of that defense, and they obviously still have some key personnel that can make an impact. The scoring defense right now ranks second in points allowed per game with only 16.3. Total defense ranked fourth in total defense, allowing 265.7 yards per game. Passing defense is ranked fifth, and rushing defense is ranked 15th. So there's the vacancy, right? It's going to be potentially Kyren Williams, Blake Corum game, ride the hot hand. You mix in some jet sweeps, you mix in Puka Nacua, Jordan Whittington, Xavier Smith, and try and create some explosives off of that. And it'll eventually set up the passing game, and it'll allow for Stafford to diagnose what's going on in the secondary. And I have confidence that they're going to be able to do that. And I don't know if it's going to be a 6.5, 7-point win, but the goal is to send as many 49ers fans home as humanly possible. Bang, bang, escalator gang. And I think a lot of the reason why Vegas is predicting that this is going to be potentially, 7.5-point win, whatever it's going to look like, Rams are going to take care of business at home. It's because the 49ers offense is so damn banged up. And Christian McCaffrey is feels like the only healthy player in terms of their key offensive personnel who's been healthy this entire season. Brock Purdy's got the toe issue. It's going to be questionable this week. I don't know if we're going to get him or Mac Jones. We shall see. Either way, if you get Brock Purdy, you're going to get a less mobile version of Brock Purdy with the toe issue. Ricky Pearsall with the knee issue. Brandon Ayuk still recovering from the torn ACL. George Kittle has the hamstring injury. Juwan Jennings, everything. He's got rib issues. He's got knee issues. And then McCaffrey, again, as we mentioned, is healthy. So you're going to get like Demarcus Robinson in this game, potentially. You're going to get Demarcus Robinson, Kendrick Bourne, Sky Moore, and MBS maybe as the top offensive threats for the 49ers. Nick, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a shame when a team just kind of loses everybody, and it does feel like the 49ers allocated most of their money to that list of people who are super banged up. They paid the big bucks to the guys that got them to the Super Bowl last couple of years, and now this is what happens. Your depth isn't as deep as some other teams that have kind of spread the love in terms of the cap. And when all your big guys go down, you're in a difficult situation, and you're and you're 6.5 underdogs against a team that you once owned for quite some time. So it's difficult to see a world where they come in here and are looking really sharp, but that could be the case. And Mac Jones, the only the only undefeated Niners quarterback right now.
It's hard to, yeah. I mean, I just think offensively, it's hard to imagine a world where they're really putting together a game plan that allows them to put up 24, 27, 30 points against this Rams defense right now. And a lot of it is because of the personnel that is healthy. Like if they're completely healthy, Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, like this is even a healthy Brock Purdy. This team's really tough. And we've given Brock Purdy a lot of credit on this podcast before. We do think he's a really good player, but a non-mobile version of Brock Purdy is not somebody that a division rival is going to be scared of. You just look at this offensive depth chart right now. I mean, you just see a lot of red, right? We talked about Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall. They got a couple of offensive linemen in terms of depth who are on the injured reserve list. It's a really tough situation. And we talked about just the total points that they've scored and the scoring defense. You look at their schedule, you look back to week 1, they barely squeaked by the Seahawks. That's the Seahawks' only loss in the season, by the way. And then they beat the Saints barely. They beat the Cardinals by 1 point, and they lost to Jacksonville last week, which handed the Niners their first loss. So, I don't really know what to make of this team. This is one of the more difficult previews that I feel like we've had to do just because of all of the injuries that the 49ers have compiled and the history of this team. Like, it's going to be really tough, the line of scrimmage. McVay and Shanahan is an awesome battle always, no matter who's on the field. That's why I think we're going to go back and forth on the 6.5 points, probably the whole episode.
Yeah. I mean, last week, if you look at the numbers, Christian McCaffrey averaged 2.9 a carry on 17 carries. Like, he didn't do anything special. And then Purdy, his first game back, he throws for 309 yards, 2 touchdowns, but also 2 like really bad interceptions. So even those 2 tent poles for them aren't really playing at the level that they need to be playing at in order for them to overcome this stuff. And, maybe they were looking ahead to this game. It's like, okay, maybe we drop one, against an AFC opponent, but we have to definitely come correct for this Rams team. And you could attribute to that, but it just doesn't feel like right now the 49ers have enough, and it's a really bad time for us to be facing them for the first time. It also feels like
for them, right? For us, we're getting them at a good time. For them, they couldn't be getting us at a worse time.
Right. Sorry, I don't know if I misspoke there, but
no, you're good.
For us, it does feel like this is a chance to a first primetime game of the season display who we are against the team that has given us trouble in the past, and really just showcase, okay, the Rams are here. And you said we're going to go back and forth about this line, 6.5. Maybe it's just like, a real bloodbath, and the Rams get up early, control the clock with Kyren and Corum, and just, load on top of this team. They're not the type of team that just eggs it on just to egg it on and like keeps shoving it down their throat like the Lions are. But, I think there's a real world where they go up early and they kind of just control the game, and they slowly eke this one out and show everybody it's like, the Rams are 4-1, and they're feeling really good about themselves right now.
Yeah, I mean, the ideal situation is like you just control defensively throughout the entirety of the game, right? And it looks similar to what you saw last night with Denver and Cincinnati, right? Where the line of scrimmage was just dominated throughout the entirety of the game. Like, there were every single weakness that the Cincinnati Bengals had up front was exploited by, I think it's Vance Joseph and the Bengals front seven, or the Broncos front seven. And that's why, like, you look within primetime games, you get to kind of see some of these schemes, players highlighted. Like, this is one of those times. Like, this is a primetime game for a team in a division that has 3 teams that are 3-1 right now. This is your chance to kind of pound your chest and say, we're going to be 3-0 at home. We're going to be 1-0 in the division, and we're going to control this relationship throughout the entirety of this season. And it doesn't matter who's healthy or who's not. It's who's in front of you, and it's just a matter of taking care of business. I think Kyren has a big game. He's had so many big games against the Niners in the past. Puka's a Niner killer. How about Tutu Atwell? Last year when the Rams needed their first win worse than anything, it was Tutu Atwell who stretched the field and drew the big pass interference call and got Joshua Carty in position to make a kick. And it's, he's the field stretcher, home run hitter. We talked about it yesterday. He's the pinch hitter off the bench. And he's the kind of guy who, once your secondary is worn down, you kind of show it throughout the game. Then you finally pull the trigger when you feel like the opportunity has finally planted itself. And
I just wish
with
Tutu that he demanded a little more respect. You know what I mean? Because I feel like they can, worry way more about Devontae and Puka, and then they kind of let Tutu do his thing because he doesn't get the ball that much. But
wait, hold on one second before you go to your next point. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Tutu was the leading receiver in that first Niners game last year. I don't think Puka or Kupp were on the field.
Is that true?
I don't know. We should have to look back. Hold on, give me a second to look back.
Yeah, and while you do that, I just want to reiterate, as you're talking about just controlling the line. We've played 2 weeks in a row now. We shut down two of the best running backs in the league, Saquon Barkley and Taylor. I mean, Taylor almost had broke one off and changed the complete format of that game. But now you're going up against Christian McCaffrey, and I feel like when they play the Niners, all that they do is like, all right, Brock Purdy, you have to beat us. This is your opportunity to go out there and beat us. And because we're going to stop the run game. And I feel like he has not been able, to rise up to that occasion in quite some time. And right now, as he's injured, I don't think he'll be able to do that again either. So it feels like, very much if we can contain McCaffrey, we are totally fine in this matchup.
And how about this tweet from JB Long, too? He was talking about just this gauntlet that we faced over the past couple of weeks. Saquon and JT, and then obviously you're getting Christian McCaffrey on Thursday night, and then Derrick Henry, right? Like, is Henry next? Do we get the Ravens after the Niners? We do.
Yeah.
Well, I think we go to Baltimore, and Lamar is going to potentially be dealing with the hamstring injury. And as you know, Nick, as a Lamar and a Derrick Henry owner in fantasy, I don't know if Derrick Henry's having the best year, so we'll see how that all goes. But this could be an opportunity to really showcase in primetime, again, that Tyler Davis and Poona Ford, Tyler Davis being a draft pick, Poona Ford being one of your big free agent additions. Like when you see that scrum at the line of scrimmage, when you see things just jammed up in traffic and you can't really figure out what happened and why the play stalled, it's because Tyler Davis and Poona Ford. So those are the guys, the unsung heroes that you guys should be thanking, because that's the kind of scheme and that's the kind of defense that they put emphasis on in this offseason. So to be able to input everything that you've kind of collected over the first 4 weeks of the season and implement it against somebody like Christian McCaffrey, who you've seen a ton of over the past couple of seasons, is going to be really fun to witness. So I'm excited to kind of see how that all shakes out.
I think the books are also respecting the Rams as if they were a 4-0 team, because outside of some fluke special team stuff, they really are kind of like that 4-0 team. So that's why I see them as such a, strong component in this spread. And let me just run this by you. I have the 49ers schedule up right here. So they're 3-1. Let's just say hypothetically Rams win, right? They're 3-2 moving on to week 6. They go into Tampa. Then they have the Falcons at home, have to go to Houston. They play the Giants after that in New York, and then back to us in San Fran. There's a real world where they're looking at, from that stretch of 6 games, like maybe losing 5 of that 6.
And here's the tough thing. You get a team like the Giants when they kind of start to heat up and rally behind their quarterback. Oh, there's another team you named in there who I feel like Houston. Houston, who just got their first win over the weekend, who I feel like is going to be in a much better position in 3 or 4 weeks when they kind of start to put the pieces together. And we talked about when we previewed Houston, it's like you need so much continuity up front on your offensive line to protect CJ Stroud. Otherwise, he's going to look like an incompetent quarterback. And now they're kind of starting to get that. So, this Niners team could, the strength of schedule, they're playing a 3rd, 4th place schedule. Right. But when you get teams at the wrong time, that to me just eliminates the conversation before the season even started about strength of schedule. And it could be something that really works out, fortunately, for the Rams. And maybe you see the Rams and the Seahawks in the end of the season kind of going head to head.
And it's, it's like us. It's like we're looking going into the season like, oh, these AFC South opponents, we're fine playing them. It's like Colts,
Sure.
Jags, those are easy teams lined up. And all of a sudden, both of them are 3-1 looking like playoff teams. So like
Yeah.
you did this whole strength of schedule stuff going into the season. I think it's more just like something for us to talk about because of the, because we're looking for things to talk about in the off season. So yeah, I after that though, after that 6th stretch, it seems like it does ease up for them. It goes Cardinals, Panthers, Browns, Titans. Like, that could be them kind of coming around and being like, wait, don't count us out yet. You know what I mean? Kittle gets healthy and whatnot. So we'll see. But I mean, yeah, right now, if they lose this game and then they have to look on to Tampa in Tampa, that's tough.
I like that. I'm glad you brought all of that up. I also want to, since you kind of carved out like what the rest of their schedule looks like, I just want to go back because we were talking about Tutu Atwell like 4 minutes ago. He was the leading receiver in that game.
Wow.
Four receptions, 93 yards. Guess who the second leading receiver was in that game?
Robinson?
Demarcus Robinson.
Yeah.
So I was looking over the last couple of weeks. I'm like, so I know he was suspended for the first couple of weeks of the season. And I'm thinking to myself, did he play against Jacksonville? Like, do I have any clips of Demarcus Robinson? So he had one catch, I think, for like 20 yards. And now I'm seeing, like, I was searching his name on Twitter, and a lot of Niners fans were placing anytime touchdown Demarcus Robinson bets, which I'm super interested in just because he's probably going to be the best receiver on the field at this point. So, like, in the same way that it's, potentially it's another Tutu Atwell coming out party, is it a Demarcus Robinson revenge game potentially against the Rams?
Might be worth a waiver claim in your fantasy league if you're, 0-3 right now and you need to pick somebody up. That's
0-4 maybe.
Or what? 0-4, right?
0-4, yeah, right. Are we 4 weeks? Yeah, 0-4.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, does that mean you're going to pick him up?
No, I'm 2-2 in the league we're in together and 3-1 in the other. So I think I'm okay. Chris Olave has kind of been a weird wrinkle in my teams, but I have him in both leagues. But he scored his first touchdown last week. So
yeah. I think we see the Saints November 2nd, which is
see them. I got the schedule right here after the bye. It's like right after my wedding. It's like it's like November 11th or something.
Is it something like that? Okay. So we'll see them later on. I just want to get into this defense real quick because we talked a lot of shit about Bryce Huff in the offseason, and when he came from Philadelphia, he was in Vic Fangio's scheme. Fangio said, "You're not good enough. We're going to play the Super Bowl without you. There's no reason for you to even be active. You're not going to get any snaps." So then they trade him away to the 49ers, and Bryce Huff, I think, has a couple of sacks. I think he's maybe got a strip sack or a forced fumble, whatever it is. But it just seems like over the years, you saw Leonard Floyd, Nick Bosa is obviously not going to be there. Guys coming around the edge in this game, Bryce Huff, Michael Williams is going to be questionable. Nick Martin, I don't think he rushes around the edge at all. I'm just trying to look at potential players that they could plug in these situations. Alfred Collins, Uter Gross Matos, CJ West, maybe. I don't know. It's just looking ugly from a front perspective. I think the middle of their defense is going to be just fine. Fred Warner, like I mentioned, Nick Martin, they're going to be just fine. D. Winters. I wonder how much they're missing the dude that went over to Denver, and his name is slipping out of my head right now. It'll pop up. I don't even know if he's been active yet, so I guess they're probably not missing him that much. The guy tore his Achilles in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. I'm trying to remember.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember it was just like, oh, there's the Chiefs Taylor Swift Black Magic, as I'm wearing a Taylor Swift shirt today to match my bone-on-bone appearance.
Yeah, so, I mean, their secondary is still tough. Rob Saleh, still there, obviously. So, not still there. He's obviously just coming back. So, I think they're going to be
Saleh does scare me.
Yeah, I think at the line of scrimmage, I feel like I've had a lot of bad memories of seeing him on the sidelines going crazy, his shining bald head, the strip sack on Jared Goff, and the ball, comes loose and somebody picks it up and runs it in for a touchdown. And Saleh's on the sideline just going nuts.
Yeah,
and that's what
they kept us out of the playoffs that 2019 year after we went to the Super Bowl and then we missed it the following year. And I remember the defense had an amazing game and Salah's like freaking out. I think I was maybe happier than most Jets fans when he was announced as their head coach because I was so tired of seeing him on the sideline having to play him twice. He is a very good D coordinator, and even with Bosa down, he's been able to, show some stuff. But then, Trevor Lawrence is able to dice him up, and he hasn't really been solid this year. So
what did Liam Cohen say to him? Keep my name out your mouth. He went full Will Smith.
Yeah, Saleh was apparently talking about how that tree, speaking of the McVay tree, are like sign stealers. But he was like, it's a completely legal thing, but yeah, they steal some of our signs. And then Liam Cohen like rushes them, and his players are like holding them back, like, keep my name out of your mouth, all this stuff. I don't know. It's a totally legal thing,
I'll tell you what, if I'm in a dark alley, I'm not messing with anybody from Jacksonville or anybody who says Duval, like Duval. To me, that's just no. I mean, Liam Cohen's fine. He's,
Who would you rather fight, Liam Cohen or Robert Saleh? Liam Cohen.
Yeah,
exactly. So, I mean, for him to be approaching that man is insane.
Yeah, I entirely agree. I think that's all we got. I mean, listen, it's a short week. This is our second episode in back-to-back days. So we're just trying to make sure that we're covering off on everything. I'm sure the injury news is going to be really interesting. It seemed like the Rams were kind of banged up coming out of that game, but no major injuries whatsoever. Hopefully you get Avila back. McVay said we'll see on Avila starting potentially on Thursday night. So that would obviously be huge. But I think that's really kind of the big ones as of right now. And we'll see what's going on with Purdy. Obviously, that's the biggest one on their end. So we'll see kind of where that all shakes out. But other than that, I think it's time for everybody's favorite part of the week.
Next picks.
One more time.
Nick's picks, week 5. We made it to week 5. Almost a winning week. If it wasn't for that Bears blocked field goal, I'm sorry if Nick's picks made you watch that Bears-Raiders game or care about it at all, because it was atrocious. Dean's locks, Puka anytime touchdown, a hit. And I actually took that IRL in real life, as the kids say. So thank you, Dean. You got anything for us right now before we continue? Dean's locks officially 3-1 on the season.
Could I go? I mean, I don't know what book will take this bet. I would imagine it would be DraftKings or FanDuel. It's not going to be anything too crazy, but you could usually do this. You could usually do this on player props, but it'll be Kyren Williams 2+ touchdowns.
Oh yeah,
that's a bet. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's not that crazy of a bet, right?
It's like plus that. I think I saw that on DraftKings. It's like that's like a plus $300 bet.
There you go. That's what I like.
That's
my lock of the week.
Yeah, listen to Dean. I like that a lot. All right.
I mean, what's my record for this year? Why don't we just remind the people again what my record is for this year?
3-1.
Okay, so Kyren Williams 2+ touchdowns. Let's make sure we flash that on the screen.
Good job. Good job.
All right, we're good. All right. Nobody cares about me anymore.
Current record overall, since we're talking about that on Nick's picks, is 11-8, which is pretty good. Let's keep it rolling with another smart week and another theme song, of course. Can't forget about that. If you want to play that for the adoring Nick heads.
Yeah, sounds good. Producer. Is it playing?
No.
It's so weird. Hold on. I thought you were hearing it.
No, can't hear a thing. Producers, he's struggling.
Hold on a second. Hold on. The technical difficulties from the producers.
That's all right. I mean, we promised the theme song to everybody every week. That's what we did here on Nick's Picks. But, sometimes I guess the producers, they have the files, but they don't have the heart.
And no, it's here. It's here. Let's see if we can get it. Hold on. All right, keep going. Start your picks, and we'll see if I can bring it in.
Okay, starting off, Giants at Saints. Line is set as Saints minus 2.5. Wow, the Saints are favored for the first time all year, and perhaps the only time. Spencer Rattler and the gang gave Josh Allen a bit of a scare there last week when they faced the Bills, fighting till the very end by going into Buffalo and going punch for punch with the big boys, but they were not able to hold on, which leads me to believe that we should be keeping an eye on Buffalo, because Buffalo was not able to cover against the Saints, and they weren't able to cover against the Dolphins the week prior. So let's just put that in the back of our caps. But more on that later. Let's focus on the Saints team rather than 11-0 as a starter. Rattler, 0-11 as a starter, despite playing some solid football the first 4 weeks. Almost walked away from those NFC West games 2-0, but didn't have enough juice in him to get over the edge. Now facing a monstrous Giants defensive line who sacked Herbert twice last week. I think Rattler is actually going to rise up here and dink it down to Kamara a lot in this game, which will be just enough. Giants may overestimate their usage of pressure. They've been blitzing at a 28% rate, but it's Rattler. So my gut is going to tell me that they're going to try to pin their ears back and blitz him more and try to make him more uncomfortable, which opens the pass game for Olave and allows him, just like I said, just to be able to dink it down. And Kamara can pick up those first downs. I think the Saints do pretty good in this game, and I think this is the first win of Rattler's career. 24-18, Saints win, and they cover. Saints minus 2.5 is the official pick.
Insane. I love the Giants in that game. That's crazy.
Last week we took Panthers plus 5.5, and the Patriots ran all over them.
Yeah.
Idiot. And I'm trying to be smart money here and take the Saints minus 2.5, even though it doesn't feel like they're going to win that game.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, it's crazy that they're even a 2.5 point favorite. I think a lot of people are going to be on the Giants.
Yeah, I think people are going to see Giants at plus money with Jackson Dart and the creatine Caucasian, the running back. I forget his name. But Scattaboo, yeah. People love Scattaboo right now.
What do they call him? The creatine Caucasian?
Yeah.
Holy that is an insane nickname.
I know.
I mean, I heard Scat Man, but I didn't hear.
That's crazy.
All right, here we go.
Oh, here we go.
I said, come on, a Nicky Picks. I said, come on, a Nicky Picks. Everybody take my picks. Everybody take my picks. Everybody come on, dingy guys. I said, ooh, a dingy guys. I said, ooh, a dingy guys. Everybody make some money. Everybody take the kicks. Everybody come on, Nicky Heads. Come on, Nick Heads.
I still think we should fire the producer.
Yeah, get him out of here.
I mean, just to like randomly play that after the first pick, insane. Fired.
We got it though. You're fired.
We got it. We got it.
A little cat in the hat. Yeah.
All right. What's next? What do you got?
Lions at Bengals. Line is set at Lions minus 10. One thing we learned about the Lions last week, when they beat down on teams, on bad teams, they really beat down on them. The Browns scored 7 early against the Lions, and the Lions did that meme where they're playing a video game and then they lean forward in their chair and they're like, all right, it's time to start taking this seriously. That's exactly what we saw. Goff threw for 2 TDs. Gibbs went off against a great Browns defense. Plus, their defense sacked Flacco 3 times and picked him off twice. Bengals it looked like they had just given up. They looked like an XFL team last night. And my guess is after this week, they're going to go QB shopping. I think it's either Kirk Cousins or Jameis Winston in a Bengals uniform. Who would you rather see leading that offense, Dean?
Kirk Cousins or James Browning?
Winston. No, Jameis Winston.
Jameis.
Yeah, I think the world needs Jameis in that Bengals uniform.
Yeah, we need
Browning is not it. I think the Lions are just going to steamroll them. 10 is a lot of points, but their defense has let up not that many. The Bengals defense is just allowing teams just to kind of roll over them, and I think that's what's going to happen. I'm going to take Lions minus 10 here. I'm also going to take the over 49 as well. I think there's a world where the final score of this game is 50-0 Lions. And I think that's just kind of the team that they are. I took the over last week, Browns Lions, and they absolutely took it there just by themselves. The Browns put up 10, but then the Lions just kept racking up points. So I think over 49 in that game is the third pick.
Okay. I like both of those. All right,
then,
so we're starting to mesh a little bit. What's next?
And then we got Bucks at Seahawks. Line is set at Seattle minus 3. I think after an emotional trip, or no, sorry, they didn't go anywhere. After a emotional guest visits in the Philadelphia Eagles, they come to Tampa and the Bengals fall behind early in that game, but then they start clawing their way back. It's very difficult for the next opponent that the Bengals has to face. And lucky for us Rams fans, it's the Seattle Seahawks. I think the Bucs are going to be starting hot and they're going to be trying to just destroy this Seattle team without looking back at all because of how close they were to securing victory over the Eagles. Eagles had 0 pass yards in the second.
I like the Bucs outright in this game.
Bucks +3. It's my favorite bet of the week. I think them being at plus money is actually insane here. Even though it's in Seattle, it just doesn't make sense to me. I like Bucks outright, but we're going to take Bucks +3. I think the final score of that game is going to be like 39 to like 14. And Seattle and Darnold start to like come back to earth and not really look like this fantastic team.
I would like that. Yeah, I would like for Seattle to start getting exposed a little bit. And you could show some of those deficiencies as we kind of start to get, ready to play them in 4 or 5 weeks or so.
Yeah, I mean, we get them late, but still, we get them at the midnight. The Rams midnight black jerseys is when we get to play them, even though the game is at 1:05 p.m.
That's right.
So let's run it back with extra thick straps. We got Saints -2.5. We got Lions -10, over 49 in Lions Bengals, and then +3. The Bucks, we're taking them with the +3 points. And then my quick pick, we talked about it in the Saints play. I like the Patriots +8.5 going into Bills with their color rush. I just don't think the Bills are a team that puts people away. You're going to let the Saints hang with you all game last week.
Yeah.
I think Patriots +8.5 is a nice little one that we're going to take.
Yeah,
quick pick.
I don't like big divisional spreads ever. Yeah,
No,
so I like the Patriots.
Either.
I like the Patriots a lot to cover that spread. The only bet that I don't like in your slate this week is Saints -2.5. But otherwise, I think you're going to probably be 4 or 5.
Yeah, no, I like this week a lot after losing, going 2 for 3 last week. So yeah, let's just strap up and hopefully just ride another 5-0 week. How nice would that be?
I love it, and don't forget Kyren Williams 2+ touchdowns. Dean's lock. Make sure to like and subscribe. We appreciate it.
It's so hard when you bet on a guy to score a touchdown. Like when you're not looking for that during like a game, it's just nice to see the touchdowns happen. But when you're sitting there waiting for somebody to score, it feels like an eternity. So for your lock to be Kyren to score 2, I mean, he hasn't done that yet this season. So I guess he's due.
He's due. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys. We love you. As always, go Rams. And we will talk to you again on Friday.
Yeah.
Friday. Awesome. Cool. Peace.
3 episodes this week. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Go Rams. Love you guys. Peace.